everybody, Jennifer from Scrapping Under the Influence. I am here today with a new project for you. If you watched my haul video for the Bella Blvd Let's Scrapbook from Country Craft Creations, you will have gotten a peek at this already. But I knew I was getting this, and Tamara had done a live on Friday night walking through this collection along with the Just Because collection from Bella Blvd, which is also incredibly cute, and I need to order. I had like this vision of what I wanted to make, and here it is. So, one of the elements that's in this collection that in the ephemera pack that there are like 3 different versions of is the craft caddy. So that is what I wanted to make. So this is out of chipboard. It is 5 by 7 on the bottom. The top part expands out to 5 by 9. But this actually goes together really easily, and it's really sturdy. So you could use this actually as a desk caddy, which would be just adorable. You could leave the little handles off of it if you wanted to do that, but the handles are functional. They're just attached with some Doodlebug chunky brads. I did use primarily the Bella Besties, which let me grab just a couple of the sheets because I had gotten these as well. They come in a whole bunch of colors, but this is their new pattern. They're very similar to Petite Prints. This is gingham and stripes, so we've got a gingham pattern on one side, stripes on the other, and I was like, of course I'm going to make it purple. So I did that. I also had the 6 by 6, so I did use 6 by 6 for the accents in places. These little side pocket things are divided out from the main piece of the project. And then I just used a couple of cut aparts. So Created to Create, this is actually from the Word ephemera pack. This is from the cut apart sheet, and it's got all the little pencils that say, let's create, scrappy friends, rise, shine, create, color lover, handmade, making memories, made with love, live, love, scrap. This little crop, like, word flashcard is also from the cut aparts. The little epoxy scissors are from the epoxy shapes that go with the Let's Scrapbook collection. And then a couple of hearts from the Puffy Trinkets stickers, which are just kind of a general thing. I was sent white, and same thing with the little flowers here. But this is actually not that hard to put together. Okay, if you've made boxes with me before, you absolutely will be able to do this in like no time at all. So as always, tutorial plays next. I actually have an album in the works that will fit inside of this, and then I'll do some other little fun things that you could tuck inside of this, because this would be a fun gift for your crafty friend that you only see once in a while, that, you know, maybe you get together once a year at a retreat or something. This would be an awesome little crafty gift for a friend. So tutorial starts now. Okay, so this totally was not my plan tonight. I was going to work on cards for a card event that I'm doing all day tomorrow, but I had one of those like visions of what I wanted to make with the Bella Blvd Let's Scrapbook. So I was like, you know what? Start it before you forget. So that's what we're doing. You need chipboard. If you've got black chipboard, that will be better because it's going to be a little bit less matting and stuff you're going to have to do. If not, that's absolutely fine too. This is 5 by 7, 2 pieces 4 by 5, 2 pieces 9 by 4. We're going to start with our 9 by 4 pieces because we need to do some trimming, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my 1-inch spacer. I'm going to do it from this side so I'm not reaching across to draw my line. And I'm going to draw a line, okay? And same thing on the other side. Okay. And then I'm going to go from this line, or this point down here, to the opposite corner, and I'm going to draw a line. And this here, we're going to cut out, okay? Same thing on this side. Okay. So you can do it in your paper trimmer with the dull blade. You can do it with a craft knife, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the big, beefy, non-slip Cricut ruler to do it. So I'm just going to line my ruler up on from that corner down to that point and just start okay. And I don't even need to go all the way through at this point. As long as I've got it started, I'm good. And I did cover the back of these with tape before I started. Just because I didn't want to mess with, you know, cutting the tape at angles. And I was like, I can just cut through it. It'll be fine. Okay. So I've got that groove started with the knife. So then I can take the ruler out of the way and just go over this a few more times until that comes off. Okay. No, don't do that. Clearly I didn't get this groove deep enough yet, did I? Trying to be really careful here because I did just change the blade on this knife, which is always when I manage to cut my finger open with it. Or I stab myself with it, which is usually what happens. I haven't sliced my finger open with it really well, knock on wood, in a long time. But I've stabbed myself with it pretty good. Okay. Getting there, almost all the way through on this one. Okay, and this side. Clearly I didn't go nearly as many times over this one. You know what, it's okay. The black chipboard, for whatever reason, sometimes feels like it wants to stick in there when you're doing that, but that's okay. All right, so we've got our side pieces. I'm going to set those aside. We're going to start with our easy pieces here. So let's do our bottom piece. So this is 5x7. You need cardstock to wrap this that is 7x9. We're going to cover the back in tape, score tape. Maybe. There we go. Okay. Then we're going to use our 1-inch spacers, just like if we were making an album cover. And drop that down. For our end pieces, same thing. These are 4x5. So our pieces to wrap are 7x6. Again, you're going to cover the back entirely in tape. Like so. Drop that down. Do that on both of those. Okay. Our angled pieces, I went ahead and cut my cardstock as if we hadn't cut the angle, because trying to do the angle on this would be way too difficult. So We are going to treat these like they are just normal pieces of cardstock. So cardstock to wrap. This is 6 by 11. And again, like I said, I'd covered the back in tape prior to trimming those corners off, just because I figured it might be easier. And really, it was. So, okay. And again, 11 by 6 on these front and back pieces. Okay. And I'm going to move this out of the way. We'll do those two last. We're going to start by wrapping our... I think I want to do this. Hold on. See, this is what happens when I'm totally winging it. Now, we want to start with our 2 end pieces, so the 4 by 5 pieces. We are going to fold and burnish our cardstock around all 4 sides. On both pieces. Okay. Grab my glue. I'm going to switch the bottle because I had the super fine tip one in here because I was doing cards today. And that is what I usually want for those. Put in the other one and we'll be good. Okay. Alright, so that's ready. Okay, we are going to cut our corners just like we do when we're doing an album cover. Okay. As well. And you can, go through the whole process with, attaching it, folding it, mitering and attaching sides down and all that in one shot if you would like. I personally like to do it somewhat more repetitive where I do all of one step on all the pieces, then I go do the next step. But it is obviously personal preference. Okay. I'm going to take my 8 1/4-inch score tape. 1/8-inch score tape is evil. Necessary sometimes, but if I can avoid it, I do, because I really hate it. It is so hard to work with, but that's a whole different story. Okay, so let me measure here. So this is my 4-inch side. Okay, so and you don't need to do this. This is just for my own sanity when I go to put this together. Okay, we are going to go ahead and leave these just like this for now. We're going to go ahead and fold and burnish and miter on our bottom piece. This one, however, we will do in full. Like we will wrap it all the way around. So I'll go ahead and just trim do my mitering. Score tape. And again, score tape is optional. I know you've followed any of my tutorials for any length of time. You've heard me say that 100 times, but it is optional. I just like because then it grabs immediately and you don't have to worry that your paper's going to slip or bubble up or, you know, whatever. Okay, go ahead and pull the backing off on all 4 sides. I'm going to do my short sides first. This is already kind of must have been goopy when I put it away. Oh, I'm out of glue. Oh, I'm close to out of glue. Haha, that's not helping me at all, is it? Yeah, I need to fill this, don't I? Oh, yeah. It's way more out than I thought it was. Okay, bear with me 1 second here. That is the one thing. This does seem to function better when it has a full glue bottle. So, if you're on the fence about getting it, if you have any kind of grip issues or sore hands or anything like that, I'm telling you right now, this thing is a lifesaver because it makes it so much easier. But most everything, it's not by any means perfect. Just because I do use the art glitter glue, it does tend to leak a little bit more if you don't get it exactly in the right spot when you put it in the stand. But the more I use it, the more I'm getting a better feel for what that positioning really is. But it just makes it so much easier. And I literally have left it sitting on the stand like that for, well, this morning when I was probably the first time I put the cap back on this one, with the one with the bigger tip, in 2 weeks at least. And I think I've only been in my craft room this week maybe twice. And I wasn't really using glue for either of those times. I was using primarily foam tape, so I was doing some other little things. Okay, that one's ready to go. Okay, what we're going to do is line up. Oh, see, that was not the top, so I'm glad I didn't do what I was thinking of. We are going to line this up on the bottom. No, we're not. Just kidding. Let's go ahead and get these wrapped and ready to go first. So we're going to go ahead and fold like so and like so, okay, onto that angle. We're going to fold like this. I'm going to miter up here. Okay. Fold it in. I'm going to miter it again. Okay, so it's going to try and hang over, okay? So then I'm going to come back. should have just done it that way to start with. Sorry, it's been a while since I've done an angled one. Like, it's really been a long time since I've done an angled box of any kind, so bear with me. Particularly since this was not my plan for this evening. Not at all. Okay. Alright. So, to the top. Okay. Now then, let me just double check that I've taken enough off of that one. There's not, I don't know, somebody probably has like an exact science of how to do this. Honestly, the easiest way to do angled boxes truly is to do like bookbinder's tape, which I do have, but it's not something that I use very often. I've used it primarily, I don't know, I used it on a junk journal a couple of years ago. It wasn't even truly a junk journal, it was kind of a hybrid between a junk journal and a mini album, I don't know. It was using the CCC Midnight Potions paper. Okay, so let's do this one first, just to see if this is all going to work the way I want it to. And then we will look at our other piece. So I'm going to do these side pieces first. Okay. And then top and bottom. Did not want to do that on the bottom yet. Damn it. See, this is why I shouldn't wing it. Let me get this back on there. I'm going to take my little rag here. I'm going to wipe that glue off because we don't want to do that yet. We just want to do the top. It's like I'm getting box building 101. Okay. And I can see that I didn't get these totally trimmed where I needed to, but I can just get in there with the scissors and get those trimmed up. Okay. All right, so let's do this one just a little bit differently. Let's go ahead and fold this. So let's cut here. Okay. And then we're going to cut up here. Okay. We're good there. We're good down here. And that worked much better. I'm not even sure what I did to even try and talk you through it, so I apologize, but you'll see when you do it that you need to kind of trim it a little bit differently than you would just like a normal piece, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get my tape again. I'm not doing anything on that bottom piece yet. So, saying that out loud so that hopefully, oh, out of tape, hold on. Somewhere in here. Don't tell me I'm out. Well, apparently I'm out, almost out of, well, I have some, it's not the score tape, it's the one that, and this isn't 1/4 inch, is it? This is 3/8. Okay, well, crap. Okay, could have sworn. Okay, well, I guess I'm using 3/8 then, which is fine, but not what I had planned on doing, because apparently I am completely out of 1/4 inch score tape. Although I bet there's some in my travel bag, but we'll just go with 3/8, it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do these two sides and the top only. I'm going to leave the bottom. Damn it, I just did it again, didn't I? Leave the bottom one on. I'm not ready for that yet. Get the top one off. One of these days I'll learn. Go. And again, there's just a teensy bit that needs trimmed off of there. And I really can just stick my scissors kind of up underneath that edge and get it. And there we go. Okay, now for real, we're going to do the bottom. Okay, so I want it with this unfinished side facing down. So what I'm going to do, line this up and make sure it's going to stand up the way I want it. That I'm going to do it in here, kind of. Not totally, but kind of. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Okay, got the backing off the tape. Bring my glue in here the way I want it. Stand it up in the corner of the scoreboard. I have to bump the camera again because it does not feel like it's in the right place. And then down we go. Okay. I'm going to do the exact same thing the other side. So again, I'm going to stand it up in here, bring this in, and put it down. Okay, so there's two sides. Alright, so now I'm going to do the same thing for the end pieces. So really, one of the long sides we can go ahead and put down. So I'm going to give that just a second to dry a little bit better. And we are going to fold down our top section. than just the top section. Okay. Okay. Now, we're going to do the exact same thing we just did to put this side on. Okay. So I'm going to get the backing off. Get some glue in here. And because of those angled sides, it's going to be a little bit trickier. You're not going to be able to push it back up in that corner. Okay, which is fine. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Oh my gosh. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're just going to want to watch and make sure you're lined up side to side the way you should. Put that down. Then we can take one side, we can stand it up back here, and we can bring our sides up to attach. Okay? So, get the backing off of this side. Up. And then this is going to come out and around. Okay. You see here I've got a teeny bit sticking up out over the top. I will literally just come in here, angle my scissors, and take that off. Okay. Do the other side. Again. Okay. And then we will just repeat with the other side. Now we can kind of lay it down a little bit, make it a little bit easier. I think I am going to go ahead and miter these just a little bit more so that I don't have to do it once they're up, because it's going to get matted over anyway, so it's okay. Eventually, when I get my paper, which I think is supposed to be here tomorrow, so hopefully. Okay. You know what, that's okay. Okay, so there is the base for our crafty caddy. I'm excited. Okay, so obviously it needs matted. On the bottom here, I'll just cut another black piece, 5x7, just to cover that bottom up. The inside bottom here is fine. Where I've used the black chipboard, I don't necessarily need to matte on the inside here. With more black, I can probably go just directly to the pattern paper when it gets here, but that is our base. So, okay, we're going to add one more element inside the base of our craft caddy. And the reason I'm doing this is initially I was thinking I was going to just put accordion pockets on the ends. And then I was looking at it, I was like, no, because usually the reason that the sides stick out like this is the accordion pockets. So we are going to add, well, hopefully we're going to add a little divider in here that's going to stand up straight like so. Okay, so 2 pieces of chipboard 4x5. You're going to have to cut it slightly under 5 inches, and what you're going to want to do is trim it probably 1/8 of an inch under, and then just dry fit it to make sure it fits in here like you want. And somehow mine is taller than 4 inches, which somehow I'm not surprised by this at all. That's kind of how everything has gone today. Over here either. Let's see. Height-wise, if that's better. Nope, a little bit more off. Like just slightly on this one corner. That should do it. Yep, that does it. Okay. And that means a little bit off. Okay. So that will be good. So I ended up with, final measurement is about 4 15/16. I'm sorry, yeah, by 3 7/8 on that one. 4 and about 15/16 and 3 7/8. Okay. So what we're going to do, I have cardstock that is 7x8. I'm going to go ahead and put my 1-inch spacer in here. And get the backing off of one side. Okay. I'm going to go all the way to the side there and then put that down. And then what we're gonna do the same little trick that we did on something yesterday with burnishing that down and around. So I'll get my other one in there. And we can do both of those at once. Okay. Move that out of the way. Okay. So apparently the phone holder has disappeared now too. There it is. Okay, so I am going to kind of bend around and then come in here like so. Okay. And then I can come all the way over. So there is about 1/4 of an inch that's going to hang over. That's fine. So this, yeah. Okay. Okay, so we're going to come over and down. And then what we want to do on these sides is I'm going to come in here again with the bone folder. Just going to kind of work that down. So we've got very distinct edge. We're going to come up here where it's folded over, and we're going to miter. Okay. And along the bottom here, you could do this with the X-Acto knife, but I'm just going to cut that extra 1/4 of an inch off. So now I've got flaps on both sides. Okay. So I'm going to fold those out and burnish them down. Because well, how if I turned it the right side out, wouldn't it? Okay. So on one side, they're going to go ahead and attach. The other side, we actually aren't really going to need. So again, I'm just going to come along the edge there. Like so. Because this is going to be in the box up against the side, but you're not going to notice if that's not perfect. Okay. To miter just a tiny bit more. Leave the bottom as it is. I'm going to go ahead and, actually no, I'm not going to use score tape on this because I want to be able to move this. So I'm going to keep one of my spacers where I can get to it. Okay. I'm going to put glue on both tabs. And honestly, probably a little more than I might normally. I'm going to get just a tiny bit along the bottom here. Okay. So I'm going to pinch those in, slide this down, and I want it in the seam where the side and the bottom meet. And I can push it back. I'm going to use my 1-inch spacer just to make sure it's lined up. And then just go ahead and put those tabs down, and it's that easy to put this in. Okay? So we're going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to fold it over. I'm going to go ahead and kind of burnish it just because that did seem to help. Okay? This time, however, I think I'm going to do this just a little bit differently. Okay. So, I'm going to cut up along the side here, just up to that crease. And then along the crease. Okay. There we go. That works. That was much easier. Oh my gosh. Seriously, there are days. Okay, over and down. We're going to miter. And miter. And then I'm going to cut along the bottom and cut off that extra 1/4 inch or so. Okay. All right. Flip that over. Burnish it down. That that one over and burnish it down. Make sure I've got my nice wrapped side facing up. And then we're going to go ahead and glue. And just a little bit along that bottom edge. So we want the bottom of this right here in that, where those two meet up. Okay. And I'm going to lay my spacer on here again to make sure it's lined up where I want it. And then go ahead and put it down. And apparently I have lost my glue. That's okay. And somehow this side is still taller than it needs to be. But you know what? It's okay. We're going to go with it. It's fine. All right. So there's our base. Next up, handles. Okay. I have two pieces. Excuse me. 1.5 by 10. We are going to score these both at 3/4 of an inch. Set those aside. We've got a pocket for a front side that is 10 by 4 1/4. We're going to score this at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/2, and then we're going to score it 9 1/2, 9, and 8 1/2. So it'll be an accordion pocket. Turn it and score it 1/2 inch for the bottom. Okay. The other side, we've got another pocket, 8 by 4 1/4. We're going to score 1/2 inch, turn, 1/2 inch again, turn, 1/2 inch. And on top of that, we're going to do two small pockets. Okay, so this is 3 by 4. We're going to score this at 1/2 inch, turn, 1/2 inch again, and 1/2 inch. The other one is 3 by 5. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and miter the corners on our regular pocket, so not the accordion pocket. Okay. There's one, so you're just going to cut through where the score lines cross on the bottom, and then miter your top. Okay. For your accordion pocket, you're going to miter, not real heavy, but along that top. Okay. And then on the bottom, we're going to cut across on top of the score line, so above the score line, and then you will miter in like so. Okay. So just above the score line and then, okay. All right, so let's start with our handle pieces. So you are going to fold this in half and burnish. Then we are going to glue this just like it is. Okay, so push out, and I'm going to come in and burnish, and yes, you probably have glue squeeze out the end, just wipe it off. But we want to make sure that this is completely glued down, okay? And set that one aside. Same thing on the other piece. And glue. Okay. See, that one I had a lot come out. Okay. All right. Just set that aside to totally dry. And let's talk about matting on the outside of this. So, because we're going to give it the illusion of having those little gusseted pockets out there, I'm going to take 6x6 Bella Besties. I'm going to get the black one out of here. I want the black one. Yeah, definitely the black one. Okay. We're going to cut 7/8 inch strips. We're going to cut these to 3 7/8. Except I wanted to cut it so that the stripes ran up and down, not side to side. So, how wide is this? Oh, you know what? We'll be just fine. Because cut it from the other direction, and that will work just fine. Sorry, I knew better. I knew I should have looked at that. Yeah, because I want the stripes running up and down. Okay, so what we want is to cut diagonally, okay? You can do this with scissors, not my little scissors. I would like, it would be better with the big scissors. But what you can also do, line it up in your trimmer so you've got your points lined up in the channel where it actually is going to cut. And just slice them like so. And then they're going to go on here, more or less where you want them to go. Okay? See a slight edge there. Actually, I think this one needs to go on this side. Yep. There you go. Okay? So I'm going to do that with the other one as well. Like I said, I'm just lining up opposite corners. And just slicing directly through. Okay? So now it's just a matter of lining the right one up in the right place and gluing it down. And you can tell if you've got the right one in the right place, because when I put this one here, see how it pops up over the edge? That is not the right one for that side. This one sits in there just perfectly. And that's how you can tell which one is which. this side. Okay. That one's right there. All right, so I do want to mat this middle section before I do anything else. Okay, so we're going to go 7 inches by 3 3/8. Okay, and again, I'm going to have to dig into the paper that I haven't even done the walkthrough on yet. But that's okay, because when I do the walkthrough, I will actually show you guys this project all finished. Okay, so 3 7/8, 3 7/8, and we want it 7 inches. Okay, so this is going to go on right here. If it goes just over the edges of your little side pieces here, that's absolutely fine. Or if, like me, I didn't get my little side pieces on totally straight, in which case it will not. So these will go on here. You can decide if you want the stripes or the gingham. I would like the gingham. We're going to go ahead and put these on. I don't know why I had that on the wrong side. Okay. And here as well. Okay. So there we go. So let's go ahead and put our pockets on, because then you'll be able to use like these pieces to mat on the ends. Just like so. In fact, you know what? Since we're here, I'm going to go ahead and put them on. Like so. Alright, okay, so accordion pocket is going to go on one side. I've lost the bone folder again. Okay, I'm going to fold up my bottom first and burnish that down. Okay, I'm going to fold that side completely in. I'm going to fold this piece completely in. And then fold that back and burnish it down. Okay. Same thing on the other side. We're going to fold the first score line in, fold the end score line in, fold it all the way over, and then back. Just helps your accordion go down a little bit straighter. Okay. So this is going to go on here, like so. And this one in particular, because it is the accordion pocket, you absolutely want this matted all the way down in. In fact, truly, we could have put this pocket on and then slid our matting down inside, but we did not do that, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, So I'm going to attach the bottom first, all the way down, line it up. I'll come back and get my sides in. Okay. Okay, so that's going to pop out like so, which is exactly what you want. So that just slid on me, which is not what I want. Crying out loud. I'm telling you, this is not my day to be making projects. Okay, what you could do, which I'm not going to even show you until this dries, you could tack the center part down if you wanted to, so it makes it like two of the little kind of, you know, puffed out pockets, how they always tend to have on these. Okay, let's go ahead on our other pocket. We're going to fold and burnish. Okay, this one will go down, same thing. This one we could have not matted all the way to the bottom if we wanted to, because this one's going to sit more flat, but that's okay. These, however, are going to sit on top of that one. These little short ones are. Okay, so I want to put these on this piece before I put this piece on here. Okay. Because I want to make sure they actually fit and that they're not hanging over the side or doing anything else weird. Okay. All right, those are good. I'm not going to tack those down just yet because I do want to put my matting across underneath that. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do my stripe or if I'm going to use petite prints, not petite prints, the small Bella Besties. I know that's why I'm going to keep calling them that too. But I can go ahead and put this one on as well. So we're going to start on the bottom. Glue that down. And then I can stand it back up. Sides. Put those down too. Still think this one ended up taller than I initially planned on it being. But maybe not. Maybe it's okay. All right. Okay. So now let me go ahead . My little strip for this part, so that's going to be 1.5 by 6 7/8, and I think I'm going to do like that, and then I'll do the other pattern the other direction. Go ahead and glue my pockets down. Okay. And those are, how tall are those? 2.5? Perfect. 2.5. I think I am going to mat these with the smaller print on those, because, let me think about this for a second, because we still have to put our handles on. So you've got your two pieces, they should be dry by now. We're going to kind of train them to bend just by pulling like that, and it will turn, or what's the word I'm looking for here? It will bend for you, okay? So you want to, if you can tell where your fold is versus what is essentially your seam, you want the fold facing out, okay? So I'm going to grab my crocodile. And the crocodile, you have two different sizes. We want the smaller of the two. We want the 1/8. And what I want to do, I'm going to use my centering ruler. Okay. I'll get it flat so you guys can see. And what I'm going to do, try to decide about where I want these. I want 1.5 inches, actually 1 3/8 inches from the center. And about 1/4 inch down. So I made 2 little dots that you really can't see because of that pattern, but that's okay. You get the basic idea. Okay. Okay, there's one side, one hole that is. There we go. There's my other. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Again. And again, I'm only going about 1/4 inch down. One small one. This one's a little bit harder to see. Oh, there we go. Helps, you know, if you can get the stuff that was in there first out. All right. And I'm going to do the same hole on here. And I just did too big of a hole on that one because of course I did. That was not the right hole, but that's okay. I went about 1/4 inch down again. Okay. And I need to get some brads because I did not get those out. let me grab wrap really quickly. Alright, so I am just using Doodlebug Chunky Brads. I think these are still available in the store at CCC, but I'm not positive. If they are, I will definitely link it with this video. And I need 4 of them. Preferably the same size. Which is going to be hard because I think the black ones are the only ones I've ever used. Okay. Alright, so let's start on this side. I'm just going to thread my brad through my hole on my handle. In here, and just spread the back out. It's that simple. Okay. I'm going to do the same little deal with this one. Kind of train it to twist. And then, of course, you can mat over the top of these brads inside there to hide that little back and help secure it down. And there we go. So we've got our little handles. We've got pockets so we can put our little tags and things in here when I get the project that sits inside of this done. But for all intents and purposes, this is pretty much done. As always, thank you for watching, and I will be back soon with the project that's going to sit down inside of this. And trying to decide if I want to mat my handles, and I don't know that I do. I think I kind of like them the way they are. I think I'm going to leave those black. So, like I said, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.